Wisconsin looks beautiful today. So where did we leave you off yesterday? We were in Idaho. Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember yesterday. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That was a long day. So, went to the place to pick up wood pellets. The guy came with the paperwork right away and wanted me to sign the paperwork for how many pallets I was about to load. So I'm like, hang on, before I sign this, how much weight is each pallet? And he goes like 2,000 pounds each. I'm do the math. I'm like, yep, I'm good to go. I will sign that paperwork. The reason why signing the paperwork right away before I even get loaded, that I have been loaded, I basically signed the paperwork, yes, I've been loaded with these pallets. That way he can fax it into my dispatch, and then we can get the customs paperwork going, which I'm like, yes, a fan of that, good. So we loaded. There was another truck loading, so it took an hour and a half to get loaded. No, it took an hour to get loaded. It took an hour to get loaded. We sat there for off duty for half an hour. Can't have been an hour to get loaded. Just doing the math now. It would have been more like 40, 50 minutes to get loaded. 50 minutes. 45, 50 minutes to get loaded. I know. Third time's the charm. So about 50 minutes to get loaded. We sat there off duty for half an hour because we knew, or we didn't know if that order had gone through our manifest. It was approved and all that. And usually they take from an hour to an hour and a half. And it takes about 45 minutes to drive to the border from where we were. So sat there off duty for half an hour. Nobody else wanted to load, so we could just stay parked right where we loaded. We just stayed there. I'm like, if someone shows up, I'll move it out of the way. It's like, okay. By the time we hit the border, it'll be 2 hours since the paperwork was sent in. Normally it takes an hour to an hour and a half to get it approved, so let's lean on the side of caution and we'll do that. Got to the border. Got denied. Paperwork was not handed in. Our paperwork is not even online at all. There's no, customs doesn't know my load exists. I'm like, okay. He just goes, just do a loop around, return back to the US and get a hold of your dispatch. I'm like, will do. Right then, dispatch sends a message saying for me to call them ASAP. I'm like, well, can't do that. No cell service here, but send a message in the call quam. And then dispatch was upset at me and goes, you only waited 35 minutes before crossing the border. Of course it's not going to be cleared. I'm like, hang on now. There's, you know what? It's a really long yellow light. So instead of slamming on my brakes, we'll just go for it. So there's some miscommunication going on here because the paperwork got sent in 2 hours ago, not 35 minutes ago. So once we had that cleared up, all was good. Sat there for another hour and a half. Then dispatch sent me a message and goes, hey, I've got the transaction number. You should be good to go. Give it a try, fingers crossed. Like, okay, here we go. Hour and a half at customs. That's always fun. Oh, we were parked in a parking lot just south of customs. So went to customs and he just goes, well, there's a problem with your paperwork. He just goes, it's on record now, so that's not the problem, but CFIA is declining your load. It is not allowing your load to come into Canada. Canadian Food Inspection Agency is not allowing your load into Canada. I'm like, what? What does the Food Inspection Agency have to do with wood pellets? makes no sense. Maybe the only thing we can figure out is the wood pellets, they go into stoves. Maybe they have to be food grade approved, that there's no chemical in them or something like that. It's like, he just goes, well, since we sent you back once already, we won't make you go back. We'll just get you to park over here on the side. There's actually room to park 5 big rigs on the side over there, and there's none there. I don't know why they didn't just get me to park there the first time, because over here I have cell service. On the other side I don't. Now I can start making phone calls. So we sat there for another hour before the food inspection agency approved our load. So broker must have not filled out everything just right to be approved. So we were going to deliver yesterday evening, but that did not work out. That's okay. Sometimes things like that happen. It's a paperwork issue. But it makes it a long day when you're sitting at customs for 2.5 hours.
She was like, I need a break. I'm out.
I need a break from customs. But after that, smooth sailing. Came to Grand Forks. Slept beside a grocery store. There's a big empty lot that's for sale, for development. Big rigs always park there. It's for sale, so hopefully it never sells, and we always have room to park there.
You missed one step.
What'd I miss? Oh yeah, we had to go on the way. So we crossed at Eastport, so we had to go over Kootenai Pass and Paulson Pass. We're climbing Paulson now, but as we were crossing Kootenai Pass, at the top, we were getting snowflakes. So we have experienced our first snowfall. In September. What is the date today? September 27th? September 27th? I know for you guys it's 2 weeks later. I'm 2 weeks in the past. I'm living 2 weeks in the past, and it's snowing. It's supposed to get cold this weekend, so I know parts of British Columbia and the passes are going to get snow this weekend. Alberta is supposed to get, southern Alberta is supposed to get up to 30 centimeters of snow.
Probably up to 15.
Kootenai Pass up to 15 centimeters of snow. So, yeah. Winter is early. Like a month early.
We don't even have all the fall colors.
Usually, we start, usually I want my winter tires on the truck at around Halloween. Big rigs legally don't need winter tires, but our company buys really good winter tires for big rigs, so I like to put them on near the last minute possible. Once I start spinning out, I still have really good summer tires on here for all seasons, but
Some of the places we looked at were getting +4 for a high.
well, actually I looked at a place where it was +1 as a high, +4 as a high. That's the high for this weekend. It's like, what happened to fall?
You start to see it more.
Yeah, the clouds are starting to build up, so now I had a light little snowflakes, just a couple of flakes falling here and there. It's like, winter's here.
They say it'll be rain all day.
Oh, there's so Jess is saying the forecast is rain all day and then turn to snow at night. So that means it's gonna be black ice with snow on top.
And nobody's been prepared.
Oh, goody!
It's legally you don't have to change their anything till the first. Their tires till the first.
Oh yeah, we don't need chains or winter tires on cars till October 1st. So, well, they're broadcasting it on news everywhere, trying to get people prepared, but it's an early winter snowstorm. Very early. Should be interesting. Right now we're headed empty to Klesnikov, just over the Paulson here, and then we'll load for Griff. So we'll head home for the weekend, and then Yeah, it's a drop at 2 places. There's some reload place and then at Griff. So Greater Vancouver, two drops in Greater Vancouver. So we'll head that way, and then well, we'll go home, and then Sunday evening we'll head out that way. So I see there's some rain on Strawberry Pass there. Oh, there's some rain in front of us too. So we'll likely go into some rain. Great, I'll be loading in rain. And I've seen tarp loads, Sutco tarp loads yesterday, all heading westbound. So I predict this is a tarp load. If dispatch says no, maybe we're in luck, but we're going to be, every load that we load at Klesnikov starting pretty darn soon is going to be tarped, every load. So
I just don't believe the dirt thing anymore. I just think that it changes so often.
well, I know when we were loading at Porcupine, they said no tarp all 4 times, and I had to tarp 2 of them. The chipper is the final decision. I just have to make sure dispatch knows so that I get paid for tarping it. I don't mind tarping it. It's not the best job out there. It's kind of miserable, but like I said, I get $70 for an hour job.
It's not more miserable if it's raining or snowing than you would have to do it.
The problem is tarping is not bad at all. Most of the problem when you're tarping, it is snowing or raining while you're doing it, and your fingers are frozen. That's the miserable part of it. But the actual tarping of it, when it's a nice day and it's not raining, I don't mind tarping at all. It's an easy job. You unroll, strap down. It's an easy $70. When it's not raining, I can easily tarp in about 45 minutes and untarp in half an hour. If it's raining and snowing, if it's really bad, I can take an hour and a half to tarp, just because you got to come in and warm up between. Your fingers are so frozen. And you can't wear big, thick gloves because the bungees, you need to have nimble fingers. That's snowflakes. Those are snowflakes. It is snowing. What? It's +5 outside. It is snowing. It's snowing. Second day in a row now, snowing. Okay, I'm gonna jump out and do a brake check. I'll hit record as soon as we're ready to go moving again. Yeah, just really light flakes of snow. Obviously nothing is sticking, but it's just slowly floating down. Yeah, as it warms up, it's all going to become rain. And then black ice. And then snow again. So let's get this load on here and get over the pulse and back, headed home before it does that. That should be no problem. We should be home fairly early today.
Seems like every time I say that.
See if this works. Voice command.
Say a command.
I want to put a next route in.
Save places.
Saved? Yeah. Go home. Go home.
Start new Uber at his next stop.
Add as last stop.
Continue on Highway 3.
As long as you have it all saved in there, you can.
Yeah. Okay, that worked out pretty easy. I don't do voice command very often. The truck has to be pretty quiet. When I'm hauling uphill with a fan running, it won't listen to me. But when the truck is stopped or it's nice and quiet now, I'm running empty downhill, it'll work.
Listens to me a little bit.
And yeah, it listens to Jess a lot better than to me. I guess her voice is so different than the truck noises. I have a lower, deeper voice, so.
I do use it, like when I'm doing paperwork, I'm multitasking in here. I just tell her what to do. Get a nice dispatch, I'm working on that.
Yeah, I don't use voice command a lot. I usually program everything before I even get moving.
Which I legally have to do, so.
Yeah, the law allows you to press one button. You're not even allowed to adjust your radio anymore. That is now considered distracted driving. Eating food apparently is distracted driving now too. I haven't looked into that specific of that law, but I heard somewhere on Facebook, so I don't know if that's an actual law or a thing or what exactly that is, but apparently there's some levels to.
Big cities has distracted driving laws for like 6 to 9 years or whatever now. And they've always been ticketing people for this stuff. What you read on Facebook wasn't really accurate.
Yeah, there's a no tarp load. That's good news. Set to go with no tarp. So yeah, you can't rely on Facebook for laws, so I'll have to look into that. But
What's more interesting is Ontario, because Ontario has a lot of laws.
yeah, Ontario has a lot stricter distracted driving laws. In Ontario, talking to your passenger while you're tired is a distracted driving law. Talking to your passenger, adjusting your radio in Ontario is a distracted driving. One thing I did learn though, I often use earbuds. That is illegal too. You're only allowed to have one earbud in. You're not allowed to have both earbuds in. That I didn't know. You can only have one earbud in. So that's a habit I've got to get into.
Would be worth considering like a Bluetooth headset where like one earbud, like both channels are programmed for one ear.
I don't know, the last Bluetooth headset I had didn't last very long.
There's like NBC that got in trouble for having 2 earbuds in on a dead eye.
Hang on, he got jail time?
No, yeah, fine.
Oh, he got fined. Okay, so the driver got fined for having 2 earbuds in on a dead phone that had no battery left.
Yep.
But just the act of having earbuds in, not even plugged into something, is the fine. Because you're impairing your hearing. You can't hear things around you. So it makes sense to me, but I did not know that was a law. I often have 2 earbuds in, so I have to change that habit of mine. So Jess has already pointed at me going, I'm like, right, 1 earbud, 1 bud.
The interest with Ontario, how they want to do the CB radios.
Yeah, Ontario wants to make CB and VHF radios illegal to use as a distracted driving thing. I'm like, but we use those as a safety. The only reason I have a VHF, my truck had no radios. The only reason I got a VHF installed in here was so that on bad weather, I can communicate with other drivers and go, okay, there's trucks spinning out there. It's a safety thing.
Right now you can use it as long as you push the button in and now hold it at the same time. You cannot be holding that in your hand.
So they want to make it so you can do 1 push button
Yeah.
So if you can somehow have your VHF radio or CB radio, you have to just tap a button, you can talk, and then tap it again to stop talking,
Yeah.
which honestly is more distracting to me than grabbing the mic, having it in my hand. I can have the mic in my hand and hold the steering wheel at the same time. And once I'm done with the corner, I can bring the mic to my mouth, hit the button, and then go back to the steering wheel. But if I have to lean over, hit the button, talk, and then hit the button again,
What if you were just to program like a button?
yeah, you'd have to see if you can get a button programmed into the steering wheel. It'd be like cars do this already, have the hands-free talk, have the trucks with a microphone installed in the steering wheel or something like that would be the best place in the steering wheel, and have one button you can just press key on, key off.
That's what the
That would be handy on new trucks. If truck makers were on the ball, they would be working on that, going, hey, there's new laws coming in. People still want to use their radios. Why don't we have that on the steering column? Have a button. It's going to be a 10-4 response to my message. Just a 10-4. That's what I was expecting, just a 10-4. I sent a message while I was doing brake check, just informing dispatch that there's light snow over on the Pulse, and got a couple of flakes now. They're melting as soon as they hit the window, but yeah, if truck companies were smart, they would be putting a microphone button in the steering column and an actual microphone in the steering column.
Or somewhere nearby.
Because of the noise level of the truck, you want the microphone as close to the driver as possible. And then have hands-free calling and all that right away, all built in. They do it in cars, so why can't they do it on big rigs? You have to worry about noise canceling, some extra stuff like that because of all the noise. I would pay for that extra. Even if that part came out of my pocket, I had to pay a couple $100, even $1,000 to have that in my truck for. Yep, I'd pay for it. Well, there's cars now that actually have phones literally built into the car. The car is the phone. And the phone is cell phone is literally built into the car. I'm not a big fan of that because I'd have to pay for 2 cell plans then, because I still want to bring the cell phone with me in my pocket. So if you could pair it with your phone so that you only have to pay for one plan, I'd be a fan of that. Looks like it's still a little more sunny in the valley here. Definitely a beautiful fall day. Beautiful fall day. No fog. Don't know where foggy came from. So we'll see you guys most likely on Sunday, if not on Monday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the snow. I intend to clean out this truck tomorrow. Vacuum it out. Get all my winter gear in here. Be ready for winter. Clean it. I'm going to clean it all out. Go right through everything. Take anything in here that's summer stuff. Take it out. There's not a lot of summer stuff in here, but there's some summer stuff in here. Take all that out, and then put all the winter gear in. Snow boots, snow suit, winter gloves, toques, balaclavas, jackets, and extra blankets, body pillow. Body pillows are really good insulation around the head and toes of the bunk. Makes your sleep in the winter much more comfortable. Yeah, thanks for watching. Good weekend. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. You guys rock. Okay, I'll hit the button. Jess won't do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay, she'll do it. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Back on top of Paulson. And it's snowing a lot harder than it was earlier. Yeah, it's pretty cool up here. Yeah, looking across the valley on the other side, it's snowing pretty hard.
The thing is, you can't get the brake chip just to bend some snow.
Yeah, obviously nothing's sticking yet, but I think it will. If it keeps going like this, it will. It's only +5, it was +7 in the morning, and it's odd for it to cool off during the day, so instead of warming up, it's cooling off, so I think it might be sticking by the evening. Just had to throw a bonus clip in the end. Someone on Facebook said this is my favorite time of year, snow. I enjoy the snow. I enjoy the rest of the seasons, I think, just as much, but snow is fun too. Looks like there's quite a bit of vehicles in the brake check. It's like, how do I best park not to block anybody in? Another truck, another 2 trucks behind me. Oh boy. We have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trucks in this brake check.